全く知らないこのゲームやっていきたいと思いますけれども、ちょっと失礼。罰か。海外ゲームあるあるね。クロスヘア。まあいいでしょう。ザ・フィッチーズ。オーディンとか。オーディンでいいのあれ。違っす。ちげえな、多分。まあやっていきましょう。さて。
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
そっか、普通にされててくれるの
？Someone had put up a chain link fence, but it looked like I wasn't the first person to hop it.
なるほど。入ってきたのね、こっから。あなた11歳っつったよね。フェンス結構あるよね、多分さ、これね。L1 ね。R2 ね。これ同じやんけ。
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the
家の半分
rooms.
立ち入りが許されていなかった。なかなかな豪邸に住んでるんじゃねえか。これね。しゃがめないのかな、ちょっと失礼。間違えた。しゃがめないな。下からのアングルとか撮りたいんだけど。フォーカスアイランド。
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
レイス兄さんの葬式で晴れて戻ってきたの。そういうタイルね。
In her will, my mother left me a key but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know, or she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
私が戻ってくると思ったのかもしれない。全くわからんけどな。
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
それいいの？木の中、読みなかった。木とかぶってて読みづらかったな、今の。バロジカやん。これポケモンな。
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it.
11歳で相続してんの？
But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
答えられない疑問がある。でっけえ家な。
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
そのままだったら夢で見た。ハローネイバーのさ、なんだっけ、なんか人狼じゃなくてなんかデトバみたいなゲームあんじゃん。
The house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
私を落ち着かなくさせた。日本語訳若干変じゃね？
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
6年前の話？ 11歳って言ってたよね、最初。どうするの？間違えた。あれに？
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
違うんだ。
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
まず家入るところからか。入り口さ、そういうの拾えないですか。あらー、ネックレスしちゃって。こっからか、じゃあ。あ、そうやって入るんですか。ちょっと思ったのと違うんだけど、入り方。
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot
家の
easier
道具
when I
の
was
人生の時
11.
の方がよほど簡単だったっけ。あ、やっぱ人生だってるわ。6年前の話だ。
The power had been turned off the
あ
night we
違うわ。
left.
ブレーカーなわけねえよな。電源だわ、普通に。ごめん、なんか個人的にはこの視点移動もうちょっと早くしてんだけど。まあまあまあまあ。
For the first time in years,
久しぶりに
I felt like I was home.
家にいる気分がした。
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
だから記憶の抜け殻。この子
Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. Or how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon.
ルイスと
Except our cat, Molly.
猫の森以外はルイスとこいつか兄弟かなんかか。
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
ああ、びっくりした。そういうことか。例えね、例え。ああ、おばあちゃんかな。エディ。なんか時代を感じるな。あの形。
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
イーディによると沈んだ最初の家の概念が。どういうこと？何ができるわけでもなく。地下あるやんこれ。待って、こっち調べよう先。
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
家の他の部分も。はい、どうぞいらっしゃい。上行く？
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
そっち？
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
特に何もがあるわけでもなく。よいしょ。こっち？カルビン。11年
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
え？
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
どういうこと？怖くない？このゲームもしかして。あ、フィンチって書いてある。待って。とりあえず地下行ってみるか。 あ、でもこっちもあるか。ちょっと一回の開いてるー。じゃあ一回ね、こっちのとこ。モリー。
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
兄弟とかの家族ってそういう家族
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
ウォルターおじさんの
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
お、この鍵か。お、開いた。20,000 leagues under the sea.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
あ、行き過ぎた。母さんを恐れていた。待って、下行ってない俺。下
From
行
the
きたいな。
paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
ミルトンがいた。ミルトンは絵がうまいのか？
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door.
あ、部屋に入れるんだ。なるほどな。
Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
俺もリ
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here.
ー？いいでん？いいだ。どういうこと？モリー。何ができるわけでも。
Before my
あるわ
mom sealed the doors.
フィンチやん。モリー・フィンチとか言って
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around
ど
for
うしたらお
something
腹
to
食べた
eat.
からもう食べ物探しに行った。
My Halloween candy was all gone.
キャンディーもなくて。
Mom, can I come out now?
怖っ。
Late. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. こっちは開くね。トイレか。
I kept eating and eating.
ミラクルなんとかって。うわ、何これ。食べたの。
I
Hey,
ate a lot
Korean
of
taberu no?
things that night.
何これ。
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
鳥の声がした。
It was a barn swallow going back to her
先
nest.
輩としてるツバメさん。
I reached out for her,
お腹空いてるから。
and suddenly, I was a cat.
はい、バツだキャートじゃねえよ。どういうこと？ 今さキャートじゃないんだよ。猫になってた。
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
さん怖がって
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
パパは私に目もくれない。失礼。鳥が
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired.
それはね、追っかけられ続けたらな。
Now I was up in the big tree.
いろいろ見え
I
た。
promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore.
約束した。
All I cared about was eating that mama
お母
bird.
さん鳥を食べたくてしょうがなかった。どういうことやねん。俺どこ飛ぶん？
I gobbled her up,
一気に買い上げた。怖っ。
and suddenly I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth
そした
nibbling
ら葉っ
in
ぱを
the
かじって出
grass.
した。
Rabbits.
ラビッツ、ウサギ？これ？あれか。
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit.
ウサギ？また。お母さんのウサギ。
She was almost too big to carry.
出せないから。
I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
サメに。うわ、すげえ転がる。じゃあ動ける。サメになってた。どういうことなのマジか。
I rolled off a cliff and into the
海に
ocean.
飛び込む。
Now, I was hungrier than ever.
サメですから。 おるやん。
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
アシカがいる。
I tore off her flipper, and it
いや、ちょ
tasted
っと
really
美味しか
good.
った。うわ。
I grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
何これ？ヘビ？ツボ？人食うもしかしてこれ。
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
やっぱそうだ、人だ。
I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, we smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
だからそっちに行ってみたの。
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
トイレじゃね？
I got closer and closer.
無理だ。やっぱそうだよね。何これ？あなたが食べたの？どうすれば全ての意味
All my stomach started
ぐる
growling.
ぐる言い始め
And suddenly, I was me again.
て。
I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
全部買うわけじゃない。あ、これ全員分読むってこと？
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past.
母さんは書くのが嫌い
Though,
だった。
when we adopted a stray kitten,
考えた頃から分かることで
she
しょ
was the one who named it Molly.
母さんだった。
I spent a lot of time in Great Grandma
なるほどね。
Edie's room.
うんうんうんうん
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had
That's how
already
you
started to
shape 'em.
memorialize him.
彼に記入を始めていた。
Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
フィンチ家の屋敷を夢見ていた。
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
そうね。ここから出るわけじゃない。かかって進めよ。近いじゃあ。
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
ピンク入れるの忘れる。
It was a pretty big trace.
あった。シークレット。インディスバスル。違う。
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book. Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Calvin.普通の子供の
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin,
双子の兄弟がいたのは知っていた。
and that he never talked about him.
誰も彼のことは話さない。
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
お母さんとその後にしか嫌いだった。よう入れるな。みんな死んでるんだね。みんな何かしら残してる。
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
双子の兄だ。すごいな。
The day he made up his mind to fly, and he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
今誰目線で喋ってんだ？双子の兄カルビンでしょ？サムどういうことだ？まあ進めていくか。
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
あ、サムとカルビンだよね。そうだよね。サムは結構
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
すごい。あ、またある。す ごい家だな。
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
バーバラの話。バーバラはああ、いるね。
Edie's father Odin built the original house.
オーディンがフィンチ家の最初多分ね。こっち行ってみるか。あ、バーバラだ。
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
だよね。
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up, a has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him. Right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
どういうことなの? 怖っ。
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
食べたと言われます。やばすぎ。
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused.
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Walter, are you there? Walter vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Ah. 違った。これでこけるんかと思った。おらんし。
Hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
家の中から聞こえてくる。
Oh dear.
もっと驚け。
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
長っこのゲーム意外と。一回ここでちょっとすいません。一回いろいろやりたいんでちょっと一回やめますね。また後で配信するんで一旦失礼します。